Are PEO, PEY and H1H print beds just fun gimmicks, or can they keep up with the adhesion of PEI? Almost all new 3D printers have either a smooth or a rough PEI print bed. Over the last few years, this surface has proven to be the perfect blend of adhesion and ease of use. But when I was looking for upgrades for my K1C, I came across these print beds and wanted to know if they were any good. And of course, my curiosity won. PEY, PEO and H1H print beds are available in different sizes, tailored to different 3D printers. Sometimes a magnetic plate is also included so that 3D printers without a magnetic printing plate can also be upgraded with it. I bought some that fit perfectly on the print bed of the K1C and the Ender 3 series. I have linked them for you in the video description. And now it's time for printing. The effect really looks the same as on the print bed. I wouldn't have thought that the filament would actually flow into all the little recesses on the surface and take over the structural color almost perfectly. But what is structural color anyway? Because it is obviously not paint or pigments of any kind. The best and most beautiful example of structural color are the wings of butterflies. Instead of using pigments, their wings create colors through tiny structures that scatter and refract light in specific ways. These microscopic layers and stripes create brilliant, shimmering colors that can look different depending on the viewing angle. And it is precisely this microscopic structure that is imitated in the holographic printing beds, and quite successfully at that. The only surface where you can see the structure with the naked eye and feel it with your finger is the PEO surface. With the PEY and H1H print bed, you can neither see nor feel the fine structures. They are as macroscopic as those of butterflies. But enough theory, now I want to test PEO and H1H. And then exactly what I had feared happened. The print bed adhesion was too weak and the first layer came off. I'm pretty sure this would not happen on a PEI print bed. And it definitely worked. Here you can see no signs of the first layer peeling off. But why did this happen? And why did I know this would happen? To explain this, we make a small detour into physics and chemistry. The adhesion between filament and PEI print bed is created by these effects. PEI print beds often have a rough surface, which increases the contact area and holds the filament in the recesses, both macroscopically, as with rough PEI, and microscopically, as with smooth PEI. A bit like a Velcro fastener. Van der Waals forces. These forces act between all objects in contact with each other and are stronger the larger the contact surface gets. Geckos, for example, use these forces with billions of tiny hairs on their feet, which form a huge contact surface. PEI is highly polarized and can therefore form strong hydrogen bonds with polarized filaments such as PLA or ABS, almost like countless small electrostatic magnets that attract each other. A high surface energy ensures that liquids wet the surface well. In the case of molten filament, this means that it can penetrate deep into the recesses of the print bed. In contrast, PEY, PEO and H1H are most likely made of polypropylene, or PP for short. Although the mechanical adhesion properties and van der Waals forces are comparable, PP is not polar and cannot form hydrogen bonds. The surface energy is also very low and tends more toward the lotus effect, which makes the hot filament reluctant to flow into the small recesses in the surface. That's a pretty big difference. And now I'm trying to find out exactly how big this difference is. To do this, I print this warping test on the different print beds. It is designed so that the internal mechanical forces during curing are so high that the sharp corner should detach from the print bed. And if I'm not completely mistaken, the tip should release more from PEY, PEO and H1H than from PEI. And speaking of print pad adhesion, in the video linked above I show you how your prints adhere perfectly to any surface. However, for this test I use default settings because I can't compare warping if there is no warping. And all my assumptions were confirmed, but with a small surprise. As expected, the print bed adhesion of the two PEI print beds is the same. The filament adheres much better to PEI than to PEY and H1H. In comparison with PEO, however, there's not such a huge difference. The very rough surface seems to make up for many of the other material-related disadvantages. So the answer to the original question is that PEI won the direct comparison and therefore definitely remains my favorite print bed surface. Nevertheless, the holographic surfaces also have their place as the effect is pretty cool.